I'm going to go through this video pretty quickly because I actually want you to step through the other part of the notes that are published on our module today. But I thought this would help you just write down kind of what your notes should be, and then you can work through the pre-uploaded notes to work through all of the examples that are in there, because I think there's some really good examples in there to help you just see all of the differences. So when you have vertex form, remember our parent function for a parabola is just the basic y equals x squared. So we're going to manipulate that. Now you and I have already talked about this. So when we're manipulating that, we can shift it left and right. We can make it wider. We can make it narrower. We can flip it. Okay, so this guy right here that's affecting the y is going to affect the up and down. Now, one thing that I actually like to do is put that guy on the other side so I don't have to change its sign. A lot of times that's how you're going to see it anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. I know this is how we learn vertex form, but a lot of times that k is over here. So really we'd have that minus k over there, all right? So I'm going to get rid of it now. So it's gone. Okay, now, so this guy goes up and down. If it's negative, it goes down. If it's positive, it goes up. The guy that's affecting the x is shifting left and right. Now this one is the opposite sign. Okay, so you are going left and right, but you have to remember to take the opposite sign. So if it's negative, you're actually going to go right. And if it's positive, you're going to go left. Think of it like if I took x minus h and set it equal to 0, you would have to move that h over by taking the opposite side. Well, the y, for the k, the y is already alone because the k is already over there. So that's kind of why you take the opposite sign. Okay, now the a in front, that's going to make our graph skinnier or wider. It's going to be wider if a is bigger than 0. It's going to be skinnier if a is between 0 and 1. If there's a negative in front of the a, it flips the graph over the y-axis. Okay, if there's a number in front of the x, if that number is bigger than 1, and then we're going to be between 0 and 1, if I can write it. This one, you're going to compress and condense, so it's kind of like the skinnier and wider, except now you're going to see more pre-cal terms here. So you're going to expand and condense horizontally. I know that's terrible handwriting. And then the last thing, if that x is negative, you're going to flip over the y-axis. Now another term that you're going to see for this guy right here is for skinnier, you're actually expanding vertically. And then for wider, condensing vertically. Okay. Now, as you go through the notes, I do want you to fill these out because this is kind of how you're going to see it in pre-cal. In Algebra 2 and Algebra 1, a lot of times we just give you the equation, tell you what the different numbers do to it, and let's rock and roll. But you need to start getting used to kind of writing them a lot more formally. So all of these are the same shifts, they're just written a little bit differently. So I want you to take a second and write these down, and as you go through the notes, I want you to tell next to it, I would use a different colored pen, I want you to tell what happens to the graph when we do all of these things. And we're going to start relating these to compare it to this, but this is how you write it formally. So go ahead and fill out those notes.